Joining me now to discuss the recent announcements of further lockdown in the province of Ontario and its impact for businesses right here in Cornwall and area is Greg Petersma from the Cornwall Chamber. Welcome back to the show, Greg.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, so we know that the initial lockdown that was announced that started Boxing Day has not only been extended, but there's a stay-at-home order. So let's maybe talk about the impact that this is going to have on businesses and your initial thoughts hearing that news today.
Yeah, so the announcement is a couple hours old by now when I'm talking to you, and quite frankly, we're a little confused. It started out like it was going to be a full shutdown, and it almost seemed like it was curfew on steroids. But then the more that we read through it and the more that we listened, it became less and less clear really what was going on. So I think at this point, what we know is that the province is strongly advising everybody to stay home, which I guess is just a restatement of what they said in the initial lockdown. But businesses, so retail shops like a gift shop can still stay open for curbside and delivery. They have to restrict their hours to operating only between 7 and 8. And everything else, aside from some modifications of things like construction, appear to be relatively same at this point. They're asking that if you can work from home, that you do work from home. But it's not an order to. So if what constitutes being able to work from home? If you have kids at home and that interferes with your ability, does that mean you can't work at home? It is confusing. I wish that I could offer more clarity, but right now, we don't have a lot of the answers that we thought we might have today.
And I'm sure when you talk about searching for that clarity, one of your roles coming in the next couple of weeks is going to probably be clarifying for businesses what exactly this is going to mean for them.
Yeah. So we've put out on our Facebook sort of the initial high points of it. I think right now what I would be advising businesses that if you're an office and you don't need to have your staff in the building and you can work from home, work from home. If you're selling clothing and you have the ability to operate curbside and have been operating curbside, continue to do that, respect the hours. If you're a multi-department store, ensure you're following the rules. That was stressed highly that they would be monitoring multi-department or big box stores to ensure that they are following the rules. But beyond that, we were disappointed we didn't hear more about restrictions on what multi-department stores could sell. They're open for essential goods, but they're allowed to sell non-essential goods to in-store customers. And we had hoped for some changes to those rules.
And I just want to elaborate a little bit more on that. We did hear the Premier say today, his exact words were that he was going to come down on big box stores like an 800-pound gorilla in terms of making sure that they follow COVID protocols. But as you mentioned, the absence of an announcement like that was certainly conspicuous, especially, Cornwall City Council passed a motion on this. We know that our own medical officer of health, Dr. Paul, has mentioned this at the roundtable. Let's elaborate a little bit more about why this is important to level the playing field.
Well, I think it's just an element of fairness. If you're a small shop and you sell, you can only sell your scented candles or your sweaters or whatever to people through curbside, and yet a customer can go and buy a scented candle from Walmart. It's just not fair. We understand why stores like a Walmart or a Costco or any of the multi-department stores are open. They do sell essential goods that people do need, but we're frustrated that they're also allowed to sell goods that are not essential to in-store customers. It's a bit puzzling to us why you can go and buy a TV in store from Walmart, but you can't at Leon's. That's very, very confusing. And we had hoped, and we've been sending letters. We've organized over 200 letters so far to the Premier and local MP Jim McDonnell, requesting that they make this change. And so we're a little disappointed that we didn't see some movement on that. Enforcing the rules is one thing, but we needed them to create new rules to restrict those stores. Having said all that, I don't fault Walmart or any other store from selling whatever goods they can. Our advice to all businesses is be open as much as you can, respect the rules.
Absolutely. We know that the effect that this is having on the economy, and it's something that we've talked about pretty well every update. But we know that there is some help out there. We're probably hoping for more, especially as these lockdowns continue, to see more help for business. I know that right now there is some resource portals on the Chamber website for things programs that people can tap into.
Yeah, so we have over 18 programs listed. We have a couple more that we're about to add, and we're waiting on the province's small business support of up to $10,000. That should make a big difference to a lot of our smaller businesses that have had to close. So if you visit our website, cornwallchamber.com, there's a link in the top right-hand corner to that, and it's up to date, and we update it every day. So there are 18 programs for everything from if you run a farm, right straight through to if you're run a small shop. So there's lots of information there. And certainly, I would also like just to highlight, I think that you've had Doreen from working with CFDC. She's the COVID Business Relief Advisor. And we also are directing businesses to use that resource. That's a really great resource. You know, if you're confused by some of the application forms, get the help. And please make sure that you're taking advantage of all the programs that you can.
And before we go, Greg, some more help is on the way. Not all the details have been released yet. However, you will begin accepting applications for a new grant program soon.
Yeah, so we have a grant program that is targeting businesses that are in the tourism sector. So if you are a tourism business or sell or related to the tourism business, we have grants that we have about 50 grants totaling. Each grant can be about $4,500 to help with a whole variety of things, adjustments that you may have had to take in order to deal with the pandemic. It can be costs going back to June or forward costs to the fall of 2021. We encourage tourism businesses to check out our page, cornwallchamber.com/tourism. And the criteria is there, the applications are there, and the applications are open right now.
Excellent. Well, on that note, I want to thank you once again for joining me, for dissecting the most recent announcements and, of course, the local impact. And we always appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate your interest, and I'm available anytime you need me.